Guys, so welcome back to my channel. Dorian here. Welcome to DorianArnezDaily per usual. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I was thinking about filming some story times today, but then I was like, okay, tomorrow is September 11th, so I think I'm gonna post something related to that. And then I haven't been feeling well, and I recently watched a video of one of my favorite YouTubers. Her name is Rach, the Sephora chick. I'll leave her link down below so you guys can check her channel out. But she is a wonderful vlogger. She talks about makeup. She works at Sephora, and she vlogs, you know, her life. But the main reason why me and her connected on YouTube is because she also shares the same disease that I have, which is lupus. And I just feel like she's very informative when it comes to the topic of lupus, and she can give you guys, you know, real like insight as to what the disease is, because for me it's still kind of like fairly new and I can't really go into great detail. I just know that I don't feel well, and it's like, yeah. So basically today's video is going to be a lupus update slash my thoughts on 9/11. And so I'm going to be starting off with my lupus update. So let's see, my last doctor's appointment was, it was last month, I think. I can't remember the exact day. I know it was sometime in August, and I think it was a little bit after or before my birthday. Can't remember, you know, my mind is kind of bad at times. Old age now. But yeah, the last time I went to the doctor, I had a really good appointment. Everything was looking good as far as like my blood work. My medicine doesn't need to change, so that was like a thumbs up. It hasn't been that way in a while, because usually every time I go lately it's been changing. I've been taking different like steroids and different things for my immune system, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I have bad side effects, and it's just a whole big hot mess. But some of the medicines I was taking, I was having issues with like my skin, issues with my stomach, like going to the bathroom. Like, it was just like a hot mess. And I had told myself I wanted to be more open on my channel when it came to that, and give you guys like, you know, basically a series in relation to my lupus, like with updates and just more things about it. But it's still like a tough subject for me, so I've been trying to like, you know, just pray and just kind of like keep my mind off of it. But long story short, like I said, my last appointment, I went to the doctor, everything was great. And so I was told like a week after that I won't have to go back until February. So that was like amazing for me, because if you guys know anything about me, I don't like to be sticked, I don't like to be poked, I don't want any blood coming from me, I don't like really taking a whole lot of medicine. And yeah, that was great news. But the past, I would say, like a week or two, I haven't really been feeling that great, and I thought that I was maybe coming down with like a cold. So I had missed like 2 days of work, my second week on my new job. Like, that's another thing that really irritates me with my illness, is that you just never know when it's going to strike. Like, anybody can get sick, but for some reason whenever I'm starting something new like that, that's when my body decides to like break down. But I had like a cold because there was like this little virus going around at work, and just in general period. So I was down for like 2 days. I went to the doctor, to the emergency room. I got better, everything was fine. So kind of a week after that, I started to feel bad again. And I don't know if it's because this chick in my training class, like, she just coughs all day long. I don't know if she had the flu or what, but everybody getting sick. Now I have like this little fever, like I'm always kind of like hot. And I started kind of feeling bad yesterday, and I was like, I'm not gonna get down. So I went to happy hour with a few coworkers, and I went shopping, and I was good. So then fast forward to this morning, I woke up, I felt like complete shit. Like, don't let the way I look fool you guys, because of course I have on a face of makeup, and it's easy to appear like you're okay, but inside you're not. And that's one thing about lupus. You can appear to be just as fabulous and great, but on the inside you feel horrible. So basically the symptoms I'm dealing with now is that I feel like I'm coming down with something, but I don't really know if it's a cold or if it's something related to my lupus. and I don't want to have to go to the doctor again. So I'm assuming that it's a flare because I'm having like bad body aches, like from like head, neck, all the way down to my feet. And I just basically was like in the bed all day. I had plans to go to the spa today. I didn't really do anything that I planned on doing. I did go get something to eat, but that was it. So I've just been like chilling in bed and watching like, you know, crime TV and stuff like that. So yeah, not to be like sappy and woe is me or anything, but that's the update on what I'm going through with my lupus. Today's not a good day, but every day's not going to be great. Every day's not going to be bad. So yeah, hopefully everything will continue to look up with that, and you guys keep on praying for me. Okay, so now moving on to 9/11. So today is September 10th, 2016. It's about, I think, 11 o'clock at night, and I just wanted to touch base and talk about this because even though it's been 15 years, we're coming up to, I think, the 15th anniversary, the 15th or the 16th anniversary of 2001 terror attacks. And okay, I'm just going to go back to that day and then move forward. So on September 11th, 2001, I was in the 8th grade. I was about, I think, 12 or 13 years old. I was in the classroom, just talking to like my friend next to me, and we were doing like work or whatever, and then all of a sudden my teacher turned on the TV, and she was watching, I think, the Today Show with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. And we were just watching like these two towers, like these really big skyscrapers, and one of the buildings was on fire. And we were reading like, you know, little words, and it said that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center. So at that time, I didn't really know a whole lot about terrorist attacks. I honestly didn't know what the World Trade Center was. And a lot of people, I think, when they comment like that, they're like, oh my God, you know what terror attacks was? You didn't know what the World Trade Center was? Like, at that time, that's not something that we were being like taught about. At least in my school in Alabama, we didn't know a lot about that. And even when I was talking to my best friend about this like a couple weeks ago, she said the same thing. So as we were watching and we saw the second plane hit the tower, I was like, wow. So I'm thinking in my head that, you know, this is an intentional thing, and I knew that something bad was going on, but I didn't know the extent of how serious it was as far as like America being under attack. So my teacher had went and got the teacher next door, and she came in. They were kind of discussing it, and they were talking to us and kind of letting us know what was going on. They were saying, you know, we were under attack, and explaining to us what the World Trade Center was. And I was just like really in shock. And the only thing I could think was, oh my God, it's people in those buildings. Like, they're like burning up, they're dying. People were jumping out of the building. It was like these big clouds of smoke. And to see them actually like fall and, you know, disintegrate into nothing, and then just all that smoke and stuff, like, I was just like outdone. Like, I don't know how 9/11 could not have affected anyone. Like, even though I didn't know anybody personally or had any family that I know of that died in those attacks, even though I was 12, 13, that's something that still sticks with me to this day. Like, and since I knew that 9/11 was coming up, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and just documentaries and articles about that day, and it still kind of get me like choked up and kind of teary-eyed, because they hear like those phone calls from the planes, the phone calls from inside the buildings, like, you know, seeing people leap out of there. And that was just a really, really sad day. And if I can recall correctly, I think me and my aunt and my grandmom had a talk about it like later on, like years later. And we both kind of talked about how we would probably do the same thing as far as like jumping, because we don't want to like burn up. And, you know, because there's nothing you can do in that situation. It's like fire and smoke and all this stuff. And your only option to escape burning up alive is to jump out of the window. And I don't want to die. I like my life. Sometimes I don't like stuff that goes on in my life, but that's not a good way to pass. But I just don't know what I would do in this situation. I think I probably would just leave and just pray, you know, and say my goodbyes on the way down, because no one wants to burn to death. Like, it's just that whole scenario. And then they were like, you know, waving like t-shirts and thinking and praying that people were going to save them, and they never made it up there. It's just like the terror that those people felt, I'm sure was like great. Like, the terror was probably just outrageous inside, like feeling that fear. Just to like be sitting in your office and then all of a sudden a plane comes towards you, and then it's like kaboom. Like, who would even think something like that? It was like a normal work day for them. So that particular day, my grandmother came and checked me out of school early, like literally not even like 30 minutes after the news footage happened. They were like, Dorian Hicks, report to the office for checkout, please. Dorian Hicks, report to the office for checkout. And I kind of felt like she was coming to get me, because, you know, me and her were like intertwined like that. It's like we had the same mind. She could tell things about me, I could tell things about her, and I knew that she was coming to get me. So when I got home, she sat me down and talked to me about it, and we watched the news footage together. I'll never forget, she bought me like the Time magazine, and I don't know where that book is to this day. I really wish I still had it. But yeah, that would be like, I don't want to say like worth money one day, but it's something that I wanted to keep just for, you know, a keepsake, and just to remind me of how lucky I was and my family was that we weren't, you know, in New York and a part of that, because anybody honestly could have been there. And I just really wish I could remember where it is, but like I said, I was so young, and I've moved like 1,000 times since then, so I don't know where it is. And I think for me, I had like a major interest in that whole thing, like compared to like my peers and friends and things like that. Like, we all spoke about it when I was that age, like after it happened, but it wasn't like a big topic. But like, I got to doing like research on terror attacks and terrorists and, you know, Islam, Afghan. Like, I started doing like intense research because I wanted to know exactly what was going on. So once we found out that Osama bin Laden was responsible for those attacks, I literally remember telling my grandmother, like, Grandma, he's the devil, because he looked like so evil. Like, there was just this blank look in his face that just looked horrible. Like, he had absolutely no soul whatsoever, just blank. And even the guys who, you know, were the pilots, like, you know, not driving, flying the airplanes into the building and into the Pentagon, they even had like this blank devilish look. Like, they just literally looked so evil. And I'm just like really wondering, like, why and where does that come from? And, you know, because you don't want to be stereotypical and stereotype people. I'm so against that. Every Muslim is not a terrorist. But I just don't get, like, why people who are born in that side of the country, like, they all seem to be on that same mindset. Not everyone, but I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, what's the difference in being born over there and then being born in the United States? Like, of course we all have different values, beliefs, and cultures and things like that, but some of them just seem so evil. And I hate to make like a blanket statement like that, but it's just really, really odd. And that's something that kind of scared me when I was younger. And I was just like, why are they like that? So every time I would see someone who would be like in, you know, outfits like that and just look that way with the skin and the hair and everything like that, it would freak me out. Now, of course, as I got older, I matured and I realized that it's not all of them, but at that age, I was completely freaked out. And it was talked about every day, like that name, Osama bin Laden. Like, it really, really scared me. And I thought that, you know, everything was gonna get blew up, like airplanes, bombs. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. So yeah, that particular day was horrible for, I think, every American. And I think we all came together, because I remember, you know, the quote, "United we stand," we were all together at that time. I don't think the United States has ever really came together as much as we did during 9/11. In New York, in Alabama, like all over the world, like people were just, it hit everyone. Like to see those people in the street, like watching up at the building, like crying, and people with like soot and ash all over them and blood, like it really, that still just gets me to this day. Like I'm still bothered about it. Like every time I see something about it, it just hurts my heart just to imagine what those people were going through. And the company that I work for, I was looking at our newsletter headline, like when you sign into your computer, and I saw that we had like I think 6 or 7 employees that died that day as well. And it's just like I can just only imagine what these people's families are feeling now, what they were feeling then. And to fast forward to Osama bin Laden's death, like you don't want to celebrate somebody being murdered, but that was a good day for us in America. Like it was countless videos of people around the world in bars, at home, reacting to Obama's speech about him being killed. And even me, like when it just popped up out of nowhere, alert, Osama bin Laden dead, killed, I smiled. Like I was so happy. And that's not something that people should do. Like you shouldn't celebrate someone's death, but I will say this, and I will say it proudly. When that man was murdered, I was happy. Like extremely happy, because it's like you can't bring back the lives that were lost, but it kind of made, I would say, Americans, especially New Yorkers, feel better, because it's like justice had just not been done like for years, and we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And what I find so funny is Mr. Bush, when Obama got into office, that's when Osama was found and killed. So we just gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna say anything else about that besides Obama, Obama, Obama. And I really, really wish that these elections weren't coming up in November, because I don't know what this world is going to turn into. Because honestly, I don't think either candidate is good. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just like, I really wish Obama can do like 10 more years, because I just can't. But yeah, I just wanted to share how I was feeling with you guys about 9/11. Definitely let me know if you guys have any stories related to 9/11, if you remember where you were that day, if you lost anyone, family, friend, coworker. Let's just chit chat and, share stories and go back and forth, because sometimes we have to have like real talk on YouTube. I know a lot of people always do like beauty videos and shopping videos and story times, but we're living in life, and everything's not going to be like peaches and cream and gravy all the time. And I want to do more videos related to like politics and current events, and I just had to talk about 9/11 for some reason, because even though I wasn't there, I feel a connection to that day. I always have since it happened, and it's just so weird. Like even before leading up to 9/11, for the anniversary, I would still kind of do research and read things about it. And I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't want to say it's like a fascination, but I feel a connection, because I just am still in shock that that happened. So yeah, thank you guys for watching my video. If you haven't subscribed, definitely make sure to subscribe. Follow me on social media. My Instagram is DorianArnezDaily. I do not have Twitter. I used to, but I'm not really active on it. Facebook, Dorian Arnez, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.